Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day this is for you. We're getting into the later morning for me. I'm usually on a whole bunch earlier, but c'est la vie. Et c'est Tuesdays. Hey, welcome. It's me, Winkish Nibe, Majenki Kwe, Sweetgrass Vana, Medicine Woman, your friendly for yes, Medicine Woman. Also, Christianna Superstar. Oh, this beautiful divine being right here. Welcome, you beautiful divine beings, right here too. And how goes it? How goes it with you, hey? Alrighty, let's jump right in here. We got things coming up. We all got to clear stuff out of our lives, and just want to say, I don't know, without an ego thing or whatever, I don't know. If you're somebody that might have feels like they may have hurt my feelings or whatever, I don't know, or if there's something. If you ever want to reach out to me and it's been a while since we've talked, for whatever reasons, like life gets busy. I never, ever take it personally that life gets busy and I don't hear from people all the time. I'll be the first one not to, because I am not a very good phone person. I never was very good being on the phone. I like to be face to face, talking and seeing the little nuances in your facial expressions and all of that, right? Part of my survival and defense things too, right? Because then when I see when, maybe something I said landed the wrong way. Maybe it didn't get taken the way I meant it. Maybe whatever, right? So, that's just me. So no matter what, I do love unconditionally. So no matter what, no matter how long it's been, no matter what's happened, you show up at my door, you get a big hug from me. Okay? So I find in my life sometimes people kind of tiptoe around me and I don't know why. I don't know what I've done to give that impression. But then, when we're learning and looking within, well, see, sometimes it's their own things, right? That's that. That's that. Because I'm a forgiving person. I don't hold grudges. I feel emotions fully, and there's things that have happened that's hurt me, but then I understand. And I look at that so I can see that that's not personal against me. They're on their own journeys and whatnot. I mean, seriously, that's just what I do. And those that know me most and have that experience with me know. Because I've had that where there has been people where we have, I don't know, butted heads or not agreed or whatever, and there have been time that's gone by that we hadn't talked, and then we come back together like, hey, right? But it's not like we pretend nothing happened. We talk about it. That's the way to resolve things. If we keep going around and hiding away and afraid to confront or projecting, that's why we need to really begin within and see, what is this saying to me? Even if it's something you have an issue with somebody else, well, what is that teaching you about yourself? What is this life lesson for you on your journey? What's it trying to teach you on your journey? It's really not about those other people, because other people are reflections. They're mirrors to us for us to understand about what's going on inside of ourselves. So, and I've been practicing this stuff since I was really young, and I didn't have the words for all of that. But it just began with my mom saying to me, well, how would you like it if you've done that? Well, this looks like when you did this to that person. Now it's coming around so you can see how that feels. Things like that. So, even when things are done directly to me, I still don't take it personally. That's their person's learning journey. What do they need to learn from that? I don't know. And I'm really getting into that with my children now, too, is I don't know what their lessons are. And the stuff that they're doing, it isn't personal to me. This is the stuff they've learned. This is what's been in their environment or whatever, right? We live what we learn. We learn what we live. And, when we keep living in these systems and we keep talking about that, we keep training our children right from the start not to listen to their own selves, right? We teach them what to think and not how to think. And that's what we really need to do. Teach them how to use their own brains and stuff. Not take everything so personally. Not be so hard on ourselves when we make mistakes. Even if it hurts somebody else, we can do stuff to make up for that. But what do we do? How are we making up for that if we just go, I don't know, start feeling ashamed of ourselves? Like, I love Brene Brown. Awesome. But then, and then learning that in school too, the difference between guilt and shame. Guilt is you feeling bad about something you did. Shame is feeling bad about being, just being born, right? So, it was an example. I just watched Super Soul Sunday with Oprah, and she gave an example about like guilt. If you show up late for work, oh, I am stupid, I'm useless, I'm no good. Or that's shame, right? It's about me, something wrong with me. But the guilt, you're late for work, you go, dang, right? I did something silly, right? I wasn't thinking. So there is a difference where something is about what you're doing, and it's not about your being. Guilt is about something you did. It's not about your being. There's shame of that being. Don't be ashamed of yourself. If there's something you're feeling guilty for, then we can make up for that. Or if it's something that we did, we can do differently, right? It's our beings that basically we can't change. Our beings are our beings. Yeah, we got these temperaments, personalities, whatever. Maybe they'll change it down, but there's like core stuff that's always going to be us. Whatever that is, right? Every human makes mistakes. We all do. We all do. But that's how we learn. It's a beautiful thing then. So we get hard on ourselves, or we can look at that and go, wow, no, I've learned from that. Where's that show? I think it's The Little Prince. I believe the movie of The Little Prince, and they're on the scientist planet. I don't know, and they just all sing this cheery song about making mistakes. Right? You're finding so many, wow, right? Because you figure something out, another way of not to do something, right? Woohoo! I found another way not to do something. Whatever that is, we all get to choose how we look at that for ourselves. And now we're going to carry on because it's this shame in our society that keeps things going. And that's what she talked about too when she's doing the studies of shame. What correlated to shame? Well, addictions, violence. We get ashamed on ourselves, we turn on ourselves, and then, oh, right, there comes those points. Well, what's the point? We just accept, oh, well, I'm just this, alcoholic. I'm just this person that continues hurting people. That's all I can do is just hurt people. I'm just horrible. I should never have been born, whatever. Please don't do that to yourself, you beautiful being. Nobody. Okay, you're all loved. We just need to take responsibility and not guilt ourselves for it. Take responsibility so we see the power that we can change that. If we've done something that hurts somebody, we can do something that helps. We can do something to make up for that, right? But then again, if we got another person, well, that person is going to, whether they're going to be open to that or not. Well, see, our forgiveness of a person and of ourselves is not dependent on somebody else. That's between us and the Creator. That's where forgiveness comes in, between us and the Creator. Right? No Creator wants us for us to see the beautiful divine beings that we are and see us all as that, right? Love God, love others, right? The great one is divine. It's all. We're all. Whatever those creation stories are, wherever, we're here now. So our power is in the here and in the now. And what are we going to do? Here and now. What are we going to do? Here and now. Right? We can stop, we can look at the past and reflect on that as lessons to bring forward. Let's not argue about what this, right? Whatever that is, we can bring the love and the lessons forward from that. And where are we going from here, right? We're going to continue doing these same things? Or are we going to start expanding and growing from that? I don't know. This is the Tell It Tuesdays, right? Let it all out. Tell it to yourself. Tell it to the Creator. Whatever that is for you. Whatever that is for you, right? Let's just do this quickie. You know what? Creator, what should I do with the cards here? Full spread, just those balancing energies around this. around forgiveness of self. So again, all those inside emotions, all these things that we harbor, these forgiveness. Again, it's not for that. This is about us and those things that we are carrying. We're on our personal journeys here, but we're all connected. We're all connected, right? But how can we all be lifted up and into that love and light if so many of us are still holding on to shame, right? We need to release that shame and blame. Shame and blame contracts us. We need to let love to expand us. Keeps us in fear. There's no shame or blame. No shame or blame. That's right. We're cleansing out all that shame and blame because that'll keep us, you know. We can be the leader in that. Being the leader. It's not telling anybody else to do that. It's just doing it. Walking your talk. Practicing what you preach. Just living your life. Cleansing out. That's all that's holding you back, right? Living. To be living. Not just to be alive. What does that mean? What does it mean to you? I don't know. Okay. Let's just do an overall quickies. I'm already in 11:22. It says right there now. I see Liam's birthday. 11:22. Oh, there's some neat things, fascinating things about the chromosome 22 for us humans, and chromosome 7. I know some interesting stuff on that. Wait. Ouch. Calling back all of our energies from the east, path of illumination and clarity, place of fire, place of man. Calling back all of our energies from the south, that's the water, the emotions, place of child, place of innocence. Calling back all of our energies from the west, the introspection, place of earth, place of woman, the physical. Calling back all of our energies from the north. That's the air, the wisdom years. And we walk our earth road, our red walk. From childhood, where we might try to camouflage and blend in. Everybody says, like, fall in line. We need to just do. Don't stand out. Oh, no, you'll be made fun of. Whatever that is. The fox knows when to blend in and when to stand out. That's what we learn as we're going up into adulthood, right? We learn to be self-reliant and not to place our burdens on anybody else. Right. We need to look at there's different ways that we do that. Even if you've hurt somebody else, right? And you place that on them, place it heavy, forgive me, whatever that is, right? When we get up into those wisdom years, we become reliant on the higher self, that source self, right? Source reliant, higher self reliant. We're not going to take our power back from everybody. Everybody has enough. So we're here to share. We're here to give and then open to receive. Whatever that is for you. And then the blue road of spirit goes east to west, just as the sun. And if we open up to spirit, that's where the healing comes in. Because we're spiritual beings having a human experience. So we come into this body, we can open up to that healing and let it pour through us. That helps heal others too. As we heal ourselves, we're healing the world. As we're healing ourselves, we're healing the generations behind us, we're healing the generations to come. But it begins within, and that's what spirit needs us to see and realize what it's trying to draw us in. It's trying to draw us inside, trying to turn us in. Need to turn in for that healing, to see what needs to be healed, and heal those deeper core issues that we all have and we're all carrying with us because it's been put on us and pushed on us all of our lives. That's when we sacrifice that as self, that little self, right? We do that sun dance. We honor. We are grateful for where we came from, where we will return to spirit. We come from spirit, we'll return to spirit. We come from dust, right? Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, whatever. Because we are both physical and spiritual beings. We are both of this earth and of spirit. What is that to you? What does that say to you? Sacrifice all that we are not, and we're left with what we are. Sacrifice all that's been placed on us, and we're left with the truth of our beings. Because we are not all the same. Yet we are. Yet we're not. Yet we are. Yet we're not. That's the beauty of it, right? So it makes us the most the same, is that we're so different. Is that we're so same, because we're so different. We're so the same, that we're so different. As human beings, we're so unique. We're so different. We're so unique, yet we're so the same. Interesting. Do you separate yourself from the rest of that humanity? Get that like full circle right there. Almost a full circle right there. Let me spread these guys out too. Make myself dizzy. That breath is very powerful. Study breath too. Right? Interesting. Interesting. Taken from the Om. We said a lot there. Let's bring this together. What's that message that Divine's trying to get through to us? Our creator and creator. Oh, whatever you call it, it doesn't get hurt. Those are hearts. It's the intention. To intend to connect to that creator will. Intend to connect to your divine source. That's where it comes from. Our creator knows. Oh, those two coming together. Right. What lights your fire? Passion, spontaneity. Right? Is there something that's been calling you and you've held yourself back from it? Remember, spontaneity is different than impulsivity because it requires some forethought. Right? An idea, I'm going to do this. Maybe it's just spontaneous on the timing of it, right? So then you get that impulse to go, but you've already reflected on this, right? So it's a spontaneous, right? The sacred spiral dance. Practice. I'm tuning into that passion, tuning into that fire medicine, burning up all that we are not. Doing that I'm having a hard time speaking. So let's just let them speak for themselves. Tune in to what lights your fire. This is what we need to do, those passions. Because when we're not, that was something else. That creativity turns into something else, that unexpressed creativity. So we all got that. So find that little passion, that little spark, that little thing that you do that's creative to you, where you can let that flow, right, and let that go in whatever way, right? Get things moving, dance and play. I want to get her book, Living Wholeheartedly. Brene Brown. Daring Greatly, I think is what it's called. That was the book her and Oprah talked about. It was on Super Soul Sunday, and I just watched it Monday, but it was out on the YouTube this Sunday. Anyways, good stuff. Good stuff. We could all learn a little bit from that. Oh, for sure, because it speaks to us all. It's our human condition, our human emotion, and all that, right? So get in touch with that. What lights your fire? What brings the passion? What's stopping you from doing that? What holds you back from living your life from your passion and your desire, living from that love, right? Because we're in this sacred spiral, but now maybe it's a sick spiral because we've been spiraling down instead of up. But maybe it's both. Maybe we need to go down, then up, and then down, and then up. Like breathing. There's always an ebb and flow. There's always. So we can tune into that rhythm in ourselves. Or have we? I don't know. Let's focus. Let's reflect. Talk about that creative energy, finding that passion. What do you have that passion for? Right? Sometimes we go out, hey man, because creative energy and sexual energy is like the same. So maybe we go out, instead of doing creative work, we're going out and spending that energy on relationships, or maybe not even relationships, just going out and being promiscuous or whatever, right? Because that energy, it wants to create, it wants to get things moving and flowing. So when it can, right? When you create something, when you get right in tune with, like you're playing your guitar or drumming your drums or painting, whatever, right? How does that feel when you get in tune and in that flow? Oh, it says like in that new movie, Disney movie Soul. I don't mean to promote it for anybody, but it's cool. It's cool. They talk about when people are in the zone. It was really cute. Anyways, I think there's a little truth to all of that. So, right, that's that creative energy. What is that woman energy in us, in this world, trying to tell us? What is that woman energy wanting us to reflect, be introspective about? Respecting our sacred space, respecting our feminine energy, because there isn't much respect for the feminine out there. You know, look at those boys that get teased. It's you girly, whatever, right? And I've even said that. Oh, I throw like a girl, right? Respecting the feminine energy is equal to the masculine energy. Is needed just as much. We need to respect that sacred space. And if we're not respecting that part of us, we're not respecting all. Returning to that innocence, right? Returning to that innocence, we would not be here without our mothers. Why do we take mother right out of the picture? Mother Earth, Mother this, we're just about Father God and all this, all that male energy. We must respect that female energy inside of us too. The innocence, right? Playful innocence of our inner child too, that's still in there. That needs that nurturing. Needs its nurturing. See, even our mothers have gotten really harsh, and it's more male energy because they're out in the workforce and we're trying to be more like men to be accepted in the world and get the same paycheck as men. We don't have to be men. I have to say that to myself too, right? Because I grew up saying, yeah, I got an innie, not an outie, right? My outer part got cut off. I was really a boy, and now I'm a girl. Look at my mustache, right? So we all need to embrace that part. That feminine side of us is not our weaker side. Our emotional side is not our weaker side. There's more strength. There's more strength to be had in emotions than there is in the intelligence, really. And the heart has its own neural system, just like the brain, right? So, whoa, studies came out in the 90s about that. And it has a much higher electromagnetic pulse or something like that, too. So, I mean, study it for yourself. Don't just take my word for it, but we need to start respecting all parts of ourselves and seeing our sacred space, seeing these as our sacred space, our sacred pieces of earth. This is our temples. Our body is our temples, right? This is what houses the spirit, the source of life. Interesting. We're reflecting on that and that creative energy. So how are you using that creative energy? Are you being innocently out there seeing the magic in the world? What you can create? Respecting other sacred spaces too? Honoring. What's that action we can take to show that? For ourselves, to show respect to our little inside. To show respect for or feminine. What's that feminine been wanting to create? That's what we're going to act spontaneously on that. That's what that's telling us right now. Today, any day you want it, any day you choose. Free will. Free will. Free will. That's what we're going to do. That's the rite of passage. Change. So doing something differently. Changing something up. Doing something a little more creatively. If you've done it always the same way, just change it up. You don't need to go out and do something big. Right? Maybe it's just creative in the way you get to work. I don't know. The way you drive. The path that you take. I don't know. Maybe you pick up a paintbrush or something. Are you going to work? Or are you staying at home? So what is there for you to do? That's the rites of passage. Making one little change. One little change. And see. Releasing yourself from that. Retreating. Going inside. Making one little change. Maybe it's one little change in the way you think of something. Maybe it's one little change in the way you see something. Or 20, 12, and 21. That reflection changing. Say, maybe that hurt. Or seeing our oppressors or whatever is innocent. They don't know what they do, right? So think about Jesus when he's being nailed on the cross. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Maybe seeing the innocent, changing that. Seeing others that we would condemn, seeing them as innocent. Or that we would judge. Let's change that. Let's retreat. Let's take back. So what is that for you? It's something. Make one little change in your little world today. Any day that you watch it. Any day. Changing the way you see your sacred space. Changing the way you see yourself. Taking that time to rest. Maybe changing the way you look at retreat. Is that an action? It is. It's in the action side. It's the action we're going to take so you can actively retreat. Actively go inside. Actively doing that deep dive. Taking full responsibility here for your relationship with your creator, with your source, with those around you, with the world around you. We need to take responsibility in that. Always. Always. Right? That's it. And we're releasing and we're giving away. Giving away that we didn't see it as sacred. See? Those sacred spirals. 3, 4, 4, 3. Giving away those cycles that did not work. Turning them into those that do. Transmuting those poisons. So we're releasing any grudges, anything, shame that we have. Releasing all shame and blame. Release all shame and blame for yourself, for others. Right? Changing who we think is responsible. Changing the way we look at this world altogether. That's up to you. It begins within. It all starts within each and every single one of us. No exceptions. Release. And we live our integrity impeccably. Right? If we wouldn't like it done to us, we wouldn't do it to others. Right? And we take responsibility. Always. But releasing that guilt. Releasing the shame. Releasing the shame. If we feel a little guilt, release that shame, because guilt we can do something about. We can use our integrity impeccably and going, okay, well, I'm so sorry. What can I do to make up for this? I really did not mean to hurt you. What can I do to make up for this without making you feel bad for it? I don't know. What is that for you? It's giving away and releasing anything that's holding us back, right? Anything that stops us from seeing the sacredness of others, the sacredness of this world, right? The sacredness of our innocence. What is that? What is that? That's that fire medicine, that passion. You tap into that passion today. Any day that you're watching it, get swept away. You want to get swept away in it? Look, there's all those choices and those spirits. Oh, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to be caught up in love and being swept away in all the peace and the passion. That'd be beautiful. Taking that time, but maybe we're afraid to get swept away. We get afraid to lose control because we don't want to drown. But if we relax, know that we're always okay. We're always okay. That spirit is with us, right? That dolphin, that life force is always with us. So we can release and go, I don't know what's going to happen. But I trust in that divine source. Maybe there's something you got swept away. Maybe we got caught up in all of the lies and the deceptions in this world. Right? And believing because this is just how it's always been. Well, it hasn't always been that way. And do we open up our minds as we learn more? What is that? Let's reflect on that creativity, sacred space. We're seeing that sacred space. We're not being swept away into all that we're not, into all the fantasies, but let's get swept away into that reality. Reality is what you make it. Here comes 2. Whatever, the steadfast mind and aim high. We align with the great oneness divine. And then we can get swept away and carried on down that river. Because we're not trying to paddle upstream, right? We know we're connected to all. And, so we aim high for that spirit, not just for those material things. We have all of our needs met. We honor the sacred space. We're all innocent learning and growing, right? We're all innocent when we followed man instead of that source of all. What is that for you? This is 2 of arrows to the 10 of arrows. And that's about your mind. We're reflecting. Right? Going inside, that's the introspection, going inside and what are we thinking? Yet we're innocent in all that. What led us to believe all this, right? That sacred space is a steadfast mind too. Lined with spirit. It was we're respecting where we came from. We're being grateful, right? And we're aligning with those visions, those highest visions that our ancestors had, that creators had for all of us. And not to get locked into just little material things. I don't know. What's that action on that? We're looking at that. To creatively make those changes that we need to make in our lives. It's those little shifts that help us to feel more alive. Living. That life is worth living. We're here to live it. Okay, there we go. 2 out. Nine of Pipes. How are we relating to that power? We change how we relate to that power. Is that something over us that's judging us, that's just waiting for us to make a mistake so it can condemn us? How do we relate to that power? How do we relate to that higher source? Do we try and hide away from it? Do we feel so guilty? Right? Do we completely immerse ourselves in that 12? 12, the porcupine, the innocence, and that change, right? Seeing a different perspective. Right? That's that reflection on that. So that's what we need to do. See ourselves, right? We keep trying to look in these muddied up things, right? Because things are not given to us clearly. We're not giving all the clear information. So how can we know clearly where we come from, who we are? Because people that are in the power decide what information we're going to get and what information we're not. We don't get the whole story. So how can we have clear vision without a whole story? The vision quest fulfilled, complete immersion. Well, we can get that when we go inside, because the source is in us all. The source of life is in us all. So how do we relate to that power? Do we think we need to go to a middleman to connect to that source? We've got a direct connection inside all of us. Direct connection in all of us. So how do you relate to that power? Maybe we need to change the way that we're relating to that power. Being able to see clearly. Going inside. Doing that deep, deep dive. Doing that deep, deep dive. Yes, it is all needed. Look at that. Your art is your shield in power. Your art is your heart. You can creatively love. What do you do? Is it something that is totally expressed on the outside? Or is there little things? Is it just accepting? Maybe just accepting people as they are. That could be a gift. The gift to love. Brene Brown said she figured it's her gift to give people a language. Things that we all feel. Because we all feel that shame. Nobody wants to talk about it. But we all belong here. Nobody should be ashamed of themselves. Right? No. Source is not ashamed of us. Source is proud of us, right? So we need to heal that. That's where our power lies. If we're healing that and bringing that balance back. 8 and 8. 8 of Pipes. This is channeling that source, that divine loving power, and seeing the earth mother. Not taking the woman out of it. We need all those energies. Woman's been given a bad name, and so then we feel ashamed of ourselves even just to be born. Like we have to work harder. There's no human being that should have to work harder to say that I'm a human being too. Look at that. Let's release that. Let's totally, completely release that. 6, 7, 8, 8. Here we go. That's how we heal it. We give away and release that there's the more perfect race. There's the more perfect sex and whatever. Oh my goodness. And the survival of the fittest. This is not. That was confused a long time ago. I was watching Greg Braden on there saying that it's even said in Darwin's things that he expected his theory to be debunked and written off. And he was hoping for it, right? So, but we stick to it. We make the rules. Man makes the rules and tries to fit everything inside of that. Instead of expanding that thought and awareness now to include. Now we know for sure, right? Now we have more truth with us, but are we going to deny that and go, that's just made up, whatever. So think about that. We all need to look at that in ourselves, right? That's what we need to heal, the harmony and balance, that we all belong here. Nobody is better than others. Humans are not better than any other creation on here. We're not better than the blade of grass or the grain of sand. We're humans. And hey, everything was created before us. So why do we put ourselves above it? Why? About power and control over everything. Let's just, try and control ourselves. How about that? How about that back there? Can you see them all then if I put it back there? There she be. Okay, aim high. Oh, beautiful beings. Love yous all so very, very much. Hey, you can come knock on my door anytime. I give you a big heart hug. And I got a backyard. And I ain't afraid of no germs. Okay? I got strong, healthy immunity. So if you want to come, I'll rub off some of my good, strong immunity too. Because I don't get sick very much. It cleanses out when I get a little cold or whatever. But I believe in my health. I was also given the message as a kid, I'm healthy as a horse. Don't get sick. So, those were my beliefs. It lined up. My beliefs line up with me. I never get that sick. Anyways, I'm not afraid of germs. I think we need to connect and stop with all the stuff that disconnects us and says we need to stay separate. Because human beings need that connection. It's been proven. And we're all connected anyway. Love you. Love you all. What's I say to you? I'd love to hear from you. All right, there we go. It's a long one, too. I meant to be really quick, but, you know. Hey, so let's stop holding ourselves back. Let's keep joining ourselves. Whatever, right? Don't get caught up in your own head. That's a lot of what we do. We separate ourselves from each other, too, so we get caught up in our own heads instead of, clearing it up. And if it's hard to say, just come out and say it. That's how I have always been. It's better to speak the truth and get it out there of what you're feeling. Because then if there's misunderstandings, they can be cleared up. But nothing gets cleared up if we keep it all inside. Right? How does anybody know what you're feeling if you don't tell them what you're feeling? Because nobody can get inside us. Love you. Biggest heart hugs ever. Yes, thank you for being you. Shining your light true in everything you do. Put it all out there, my friends. But not till after you begin with saying. Love you.